Okay, so I had an epiphany this week, and I was actually listening to a reel talking about the quantum reason of manifestations and why they actually don't come to fruition or they don't move. And it finally clicked in my body and not just my mind, of why that happens. So here's the truth most people actually miss. In quantum mechanics, reality exists in a superposition. That means many potentials exist all at once. We know this, timelines, parallels, right? But nothing is actually fixed yet. That's why we're able to move, is because into different timelines, because everything is fluid. Timelines are always constantly rearranging. Excuse me. And this is how creation happens, is in these moments. But the moment the consciousness, which is the mind, overobserves a desired outcome, the timeline, the experience, the what you're manifesting, the wave collapses. And potential turns into a particle too early. So think of it like this. What that happens is the field loses its flexibility. Like I said in previous, nothing is fixed, right? Everything is fluid. Movement actually stalls. Not because you did something, quote, wrong, but because you pinned it before it finished forming. Meaning, when you manifest something and you see it, and then you hyper focus on it, what happens is instead of allowing the quantum reality to create this consciousness, this movement, this timeline, we hyper focus and it's like a freeze state. And so the actual atoms and the molecules aren't allowed to form completely because you're hyper focused on it. This is why so many manifestations don't arrive. Not because you didn't believe hard enough or because you believed too specifically, too tight, or too soon, but actually from the over observation. And when you have the over observation, it collapses the field. So you didn't actually create it, you froze it. And I realized something else. I always pick a word for 2026. And I haven't yet. And to me, that's really strange because I'm always thinking in December, what's my word for the following year? And since 2020, I've always chosen a word to embody for the year, a frequency, a direction. And so I asked my soul, I was like, why haven't we chosen a word? And the answer was immediate. Because when I've chosen a word in the past, I didn't just embody it, I hyperfixated on it. So let's say the word was abundance or expansion or wealth. And my mind would suddenly hyperfixate. How do I make $1 million? How do I get there faster? What moves do I need to create right now, today? But that's actually not embodiment. That's probability locking itself in. Because the moment consciousness becomes an outcome that's attached, it stops allowing the quantum field to rearrange itself naturally. And then it demands a reroute. And the quantum doesn't respond to demands or grasping or desperation, right? It responds to coherence. And here's the part I really want you to hear. Manifestation doesn't happen through massive leaps like the spiritual community programmed us and talks about. It happens with daily micro shifts, tiny, daily, almost unnoticeable movements that keep the field in that super positioned. So if I spent 365 days in a quiet communication with my soul, not forcing, not tracking, not measuring, not comparing, but by simply moving into one aligned degree at a time, the $1 million happens as a side effect. The divine partnership happens as a byproduct. And your business expands without strain. Because I didn't collapse the wave. I let it stay alive. And this is why hyper focus doesn't work. I can tell you, I've tried it. Even when you've done the belief work, and even when you've cleared the blocks, even when you've rearranged the subconscious, if your attention becomes fixation, creation actually stops. So this year, I'm actually not choosing a word. I'm choosing a moment without measurement, a signal without surveillance, and a direction without demand. Because the quantum needs space to breathe. And so do you. So allow this download to land in your energetic, multidimensional body. Because you don't need to try harder. You need to stop watching the damn oven. You need to stop watching the pot and see when it boils. Because when you do that, think about how long it takes for a pot to boil when you watch it. The field is already moving inside of you because this triggered something inside of you. So let the manifestations begin.